Hey YouTube, we are week 2 of GBL. It is 2 leagues on, so Great League and Ultra League Summer Cup. This video will go over, like I always do, rankings and teams for the Ultra League Summer Cup. I expect most people to play Great League, so this afternoon I'm going to put out a video on team building with the new buff Pokemon. So if you want to, I've kind of already gone over a Sandslash and Dugong and Glycopod and stuff like that. So the question is now, if you want to use a Pokemon, how do you team build around them? So video this afternoon on that, so be sure to check that out. But for this, Summer Cup Ultra League, so it's 2500 CP Ultra League, normal, fire, water, grass, electric, and bug. So quite a lot of moves here, like typings here. We're going to take a look at the rankings and then some teams I put together. It seems like Flyers have an advantage on first look, and that is because outside of electric, there's like not a ton of steel in this, right? So without the steel, you don't really have that like super hard answer to your Flyers. So that's why I see Pidgeot up here. I see Zapdos. I see, where else did I see? Charizard's up here, right? So Charizard's on here twice. Zapdos is on here twice. All right, so a lot of Flyers. Again, the only issue is electric and there's no steel to beat you. That's kind of why Flyers can kind of roam free. Charizard's on here too, but it also has the water to deal with. So that's that. Because there is water and there's electric, grass is pretty high up, right? Because you just need to really watch out for, there's fire. There's not a ton of fire in Ultra League. And then there's the Flyers. So Virizion, plus Virizion has the Stone Edge for the Flyers, right? So Virizion, that's why it's so high. Nice into there. Roserade, again, the Weather Ball spam is nice. Plus the Leaf Storm is like a nuke of a move. Abomasnow, even though it is grass, has that ice combo, which is a very, very, very nice combo for this because, again, you can deal with the water and you can deal with the Flyers. So a nice Pokemon to use on here a few times. But then there's a lot of one-offs, and it's tough to figure out this meta because you have like Victini as like a fire type which can nuke, and then you have Miltank, which is like a normal Miltank and Double. I think are your safe swaps, quite honestly. I think that those Pokemon are just tanky, generally safe. Like I said, there's not a ton like Fairy in this, so there's not a ton. There's the Flyers that resist the count, like the double kick on double, but there's not like a ton that's just going to resist it. So just the Flyers you need to worry about. I guess poison too with any like poison grass like Roserade. But the body spam is fast, and Miltank with the rollout buffed now plus Thunderbolt and the body spam, right? So I think those two are just like generally good safe swaps. You have like a couple bug on here with Buzzhole, but that's more of like a counter user as opposed to like a bug. It's like it's a bug fighting, so it does have lunge, but it's more of like the counter superpower that is its main strength. Galvantula as like an electric and also a bug typing for the grass. So this meta is like really all over the place. You can see that around it like Mantine, Stunfisk, Blaziken. So why I think a lot of people are going to avoid this, because one, it is an investment, right? You see a lot of XLs on this: Pidgeot, Miltank, Tentacruel, Double, Mantine, Galvantula, Abomasnow, right? A lot of XLs. It could be like pretty rock paper scissory, and I don't know how the meta is going to shape up. So I did put a few teams together just to like give you some ideas if you wanted to play in this meta. So what I did is I always start with the number one on this list, and Pidgeot. Again, when you don't have any steals on this list and your only issues are electric, aka Zapdos and Zekrom here as the electric, you're pretty much roaming free, right? A lot of these you can just, I guess there's Walrein as an ice type too, but otherwise you can just like, your wing attacks buff makes you get to the moves pretty quickly, so you have the either lower their attack ×2, which is always a killer, or you Brave Bird and Bail. I paired it with Swampert because, again, your main weakness is electric. What's the best answer to electric? A Mud Boy. Ground, essentially, to just ground that out. Plus Swampert is just generally good. Again, Swampert's main weakness is going to be grass, so Pidgeot, just great coverage. Safe swap, again, I just put in Galvantula as a safe swap. You can use other safe swaps that I just mentioned, because I think Miltank and I think Double both work as good safe swaps here. I put in Galvantula because I think it's generally a good safe swap. Because again, not a ton of ground to deal with it. You still have the lunge too that can deal with the ground. And there again, it's electric, so it's got great answers against the Flyers. Pure water is a good answer again. Bug is just the lunge lower attack. So I think this is a pretty balanced team. Again, you don't need to use these three, but essentially just like a Flyer type with a water/ground type, and then a safe swap. is I think a good balance team to start and then see where the meta goes. Team number 2, I started with Virizion because it was like highly ranked on there. And again, like double kick user. So going to take out these safe swaps and Miltank and double with a the fighting type Sacred Sword. So okay, fast move, like charge move, and then having that nuke of Stone Edge for the flyers is like a nice coverage. It's still like you're a fighter grass. You're double weak to flying. There's only so much you can do getting to that Stone Edge, but you know, pretty good down the board. If you're going to be that weak to flyers because you're double weak to flying, cover your flying weakness with a golem. Electric type, again, it's basically cover it with an electric type is the answer. You don't need to use this. You can use other electric types in this, such as Zapdos. And now if you watch my video, Shadow Zapdos, it doesn't need to be Shadow, but Shadow Zapdos was my secret weapon for Ultra League. It is so spammy with the Thundershocks, Thunderbolt, and Drill Peck. And again, when there's a bunch of flyers in this that you can hit for super effective with the electric, when there's a bunch of grass in this, which you can hit for super effective with the Drill Peck, and you just like generally not a ton of stuff that will wall it. Again, there's not a lot of ground in this, so you won't really get walled by any of these moves won't get walled. That's why you just don't have any like hard losses. You're just going to spam these moves, getting head on energy to make you're going to get shield. So I really like that it both has a safe swap and a good sort of coverage to your Virizion there. So that is 2 options. And number 3, I started with Charizard because I'm like, everyone kind of has not everyone has Charizard, but a lot of people should have Charizard on this list. There seem to be a lot of rock users on this, like Crustle, Credilli, Miltank with the rollout. So it's just like, it just seems like there are a lot of answers to it. And then they suggested Zekrom, and Zekrom I find is going to be a very, very strong pick in this meta. Again, your main weaknesses are going to be Fairy, not really any around here, and Ground, which there's going to be a few of them, but the Dragon Breath is still going to add up, right? And you still have like a Crunch and Wild Charge combo there. So I think Zekrom is a nice play in this meta, because in general, you're just going to be like neutral against almost everything. So really, really good. Charizard's main weakness is water, so you can cover that with obviously a grass. So I use Venusaur. You can use another grass type Pokemon. I just think the Frenzy Plant is so good. Plus you do have Sludge if you need to use it, but I think Frenzy Plants for the most part is going to be fine. Plus you're going to be weak to Flyer, and Zekrom should handle the Flyers as an electric type Pokemon, right? So I think there's a lot of ways to go in this league. I think there's a lot of pairings that you can use. You don't need to run, these are all like balanced teams, but you can just run like a triple, like I kind of mentioned all these potential safe swaps here in Zekrom, Zapdos, Galvantula, Double. I think even like Credilli is going to be a decent safe swap, just being able to hit for like the grass and now the rock move too, like can hit for most things pretty fast. And there's a couple counter users in Buzzhole. But there's not like a ton. So there's just like a lot of Pokemon, I think, in this meta that could be used in a various number of combinations. That being said, I'm pretty sure that 95% of people are just going to play Great League. So I don't know if I'm going to spend much time on this. I already have a bunch of Great League teams still coming. Like I said, later this afternoon is going to be top teams for the new Pokemon. I've got some try-hard teams coming where I went 10-0 with one of the teams. So stay tuned for that. Community days this weekend, so I'm going to try and vlog this weekend. So I don't know if I'm actually going to get around to this. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to play this league and if you want any for this, or if you just want me to stay with Great League. But that is it. So I appreciate you watching. If you're going to play this league, let me know what you're going to run, and I will see you guys in the next one.